I'm calling you from my bed, as you can
Oh,
see. I'm not
okay.
very well today. I'm not very well today. I've got, I don't know, I've got flu-like symptoms. So I've gone back to bed to talk to you.
Okay. Well, thank you for doing this.
That's all right.
So I hear on the grapevine
Yeah, you mean,
that
you
you've
mean,
got something to say. Tell us about this.
you mean A told you?
A told me he did.
Okay, so A contacted me about a month ago
Yeah.
and said, "Do you want to do some prints?" And he did a treatment of some old photo of mine, and he put them out, and they did really well. And I suddenly thought, what else could we do? And I remembered I had this friend, Smutty Smith, from back in punk days, and he is the person who's administrating the Leee Black Childers photo archive. Now,
Smutty
Lee Black,
Smith.
yeah, Smutty Smith used to be in the Rockettes.
Right.
Used to be in the Rockettes. Um, so, and Leee Black Childers is dead now. It's been dead for about 10 years, but he's got all these photos from the 60s. He's got stuff from the factory. He's got tons of Bowie
Hmm.
and tons of the Velvets, Lou Reed, it was in all the places that mattered in the 60s and 70s. So he was in London in 76, and he's got everybody you can think of. He's got photos of them, and in the late 60s, he was involved with Warhol, and he was Bowie's tour manager. He took the inner sleeve of Diamond Dogs, which is all the buildings that he put together.
Really?
So yeah, so Ade's done some treatments of some of he's done two Bowies and a Debbie Harry, and we're flogging them.
Okay. And this is
That's
following on from the print that he did of you, wasn't it, before
yeah,
Christmas?
yeah, yeah, yeah.
So you obviously thought, okay, he's
I thought, what else can we do?
yeah,
And we've got
okay,
this treasure trove of photography that no one's doing anything with, and we can do something with it.
okay. So I've had a look at the web or the Facebook page. So the
Yeah,
prints are there's 100 copies of each, or I think there's a deal if you buy two for the Bowie.
yeah,
So far, you've released two Bowies, and you've just launched the Debbie Harry one. I think today or
yeah, yeah.
yesterday.
You can buy the bow from the 18th, because the 18th was actually, it's like the anniversary of when that shot was done. The one with the flower was done on the 18th of February, whenever it was.
Okay,
So Abe thought it was a nice idea to put it out on the 18th.
okay, okay. So I think I did speak to Aid, and he said that people can email him. I'll put a link in the description,
Yeah, if you can
uh,
put links to everything,
and his
you should
Facebook
interview.
page. I think
You
that's the
should
best place.
interview him as well, because I don't know how he does his pictures. He just sends me pictures,
Yeah,
but you should talk to him about like the
yeah, I
process
will
and
do.
stuff.
I will do. So, obviously, the interview we did went very well. Were you happy with it?
I didn't. I never listen to my own interviews because I basically know what I've said. I'm not that. I don't do that many interviews. I don't do thousands of interviews. I have done thousands of interviews, and you don't remember what you said in all of them. But
Yeah. Well,
yeah,
it was very well received. It's had over
well,
10,000 views.
once I do an interview, generally 10, 15 minutes later, I can still remember it.
Yeah.
Like a month later, no, I don't know what I've said, but my brain is does retain that sort of information. Like, I know what I've just said.
Yeah. I thought it'd be nice to do a follow up interview, perhaps when you have your birthday in April. And what I
All
could
right.
do is ask fans to, because a lot of people had questions that they wanted to ask, and I'm going to come on to that in a sec.
Yeah,
But,
yeah. I
but
mean, I really like answering questions because obviously I just drone on about things that the first thing that comes into my head.
yeah, well,
But
we
if
were just
people
having
want
a
to know
conversation,
specific
weren't we?
stuff,
So,
yeah,
so
yeah,
I will say to people, put in this description of this video, not its description, put in the comments of this video any questions you want me to ask Marco, and we'll do it sort of to merge with his birthday in April, isn't it? I think.
yeah.
Um,
April 27th.
yeah, so if you want cards, oh, someone actually said, someone sent me a message
Yeah.
and they said, how can I get Marco to sign something? And I thought, short of sending it to your
Well,
house,
well, you have to actually. I have to physically hold it.
yeah, yeah, and that ain't going to happen unless you meet them. So
Yeah, exactly. And you may be a nutter, so probably not.
now, look, there are a few comments that people made, which
Oh yeah,
it would be wrong of me not to address them, okay,
yeah.
or just mention them. So the first one, someone said, Marco ought to nip to Nottingham. There's a healthy rock scene.
I alternate to Nottingham. There's a healthy rock scene. Well, Nottingham is apparently not far from where I live. It's about half an hour, I think.
Yeah,
I mean, I do actually have friends in Nottingham. I mean, I was there last month to see the Damned at what's that? Oh, Nottingham Rock City.
yeah.
I saw the Damned there. But I mean, I don't go to many gigs. I only tend to go to gigs of people I know. Really,
Yeah,
people who sort of phone up and ask me to come.
yeah.
I don't go and see kind of like people. I don't go and see people I don't know. And it's just, I suppose it's a really bad habit, isn't it?
But it's also, when you get to a certain age, when it gets to my age particularly,
Yeah,
it has to be a pretty bloody good thing to get me to go out.
yeah. So
Seriously,
at least,
because I love, I've got everything I want in my little studio,
yeah, yeah, yeah. I know, and I have seen thousands of gigs, and I've seen and done them, and it's like kind of, it's got to be pretty special for me to go out, actually go to
Yeah,
a gig. I do
yeah,
leave the house a lot. In fact, I've just left the house all day, because it's bloody cold and I don't feel well. So,
yeah.
oh, good. So yes, I know. I do. I don't know Nottingham very well. I don't know how. I don't even know how to get there. Um, but yes, I know there's a good rock scene in Nottingham.
Okay. Someone else mentioned that you and Adam visited
Yeah.
Aylesbury CBS record plant. I think it was in the early 80s. And they got
Yes.
a photo of you with a woolly jumper and cords.
Yeah, I saw that. I've never worn a woolly jumper on cords.
So we want evidence. We got
The
evidence.
only
Okay.
cords, the only cords I've ever owned were these black seditionaries cords
Right.
with this
Found
sort of
ones.
funny fly front. This sort of like buttoned up fly front.
Right.
Um,
Okay.
um, they might have been them. I think I've only ever worn them once.
It probably was then. Probably was then.
Yeah.
Someone else has mentioned they were surprised you didn't mention John Barry 7 because you previously said that's where you got your ideas.
I didn't mention the John Barry 7.
No.
Well, it wasn't exactly. It wasn't. Obviously, I like the John Barry 7, and I like everything that John Barry's done with Seven, with the orchestra, and on his own.
Yeah.
Yeah, they did do some good tracks. I've got some of the best of John Barry 7 things, but I don't know. I don't. I'm not. I prefer John Barry kind of. I prefer his film stuff, really.
I love his film stuff.
Yeah,
Persuaders and stuff like that. It's just,
yeah, and Ipcrest File.
yeah, definitely. That's a great film as well.
It is a great film. Yeah, it
Yeah.
is a great film.
Okay, so here we go. No mention of Rema Rema.
Oh, Rima Rima. Well,
Oh, Rema
what,
Rema. Let me do that. Let me do that again. Let me do that again. Someone said there was no mention of Rema Rema.
Okay, well now they're mentioned. Yeah, there was a band I used to be in.
I did see somewhere someone said, "Why didn't you play anymore?" And you said, "Because no one wanted to see us." Is that right?
That was the Models. Why didn't you make another record? Well, because no one asked us to make.
Oh, it was the Models. It was the Models. Okay.
Yeah.
Someone else.
In those days, you couldn't make your own record. Someone had to pay for it.
Yeah. The weird comment. There was quite a few weird comments, which I'm not going to talk about. But the weirdest comment that I saw is someone said, virtually as soon as it was posted, that they saw the video 2 years ago.
What video?
The one that we did. The one that the one that I just uploaded. He said, "I've seen this 2 years ago."
You saw it 2 years ago.
Yeah.
Well, we didn't do it.
I just said it was only recorded yesterday.
Well, it was obviously some sort of time travel.
Yeah.
It fell into a black hole or something like
Yeah.
that. I don't know.
it's craziness. It's craziness. And then the other thing, someone mentioned to me,
Right.
we spoke about ant wrap and we spoke about the ant wrap and the crass thing and all that
Yeah.
stuff. Now, we don't
Hmm.
actually know whether ant wrap is about crass. We don't know. But,
Not. It's not. It's not. I mean,
okay,
I think I said to you. I mean, you read me a bit of Crass, didn't you? And I'd never heard a Crass record. I've never ever heard a Crass record.
well, look,
So it wasn't aimed specifically at Crass, and it wasn't in direct response to anything they said, but it was in their general direction.
but someone sent me, they released an album in 1982 called Christ the Album, which is obviously talking about ant wrap. And what they say, I'm going to take the swearing out because I don't want a problem. It says,
All
if
right.
you're bored with what I say, no one's asking you. Just off and have your fun. Hoist your Jolly Roger, wave your plastic gun. With your painted face and your elegant style, how about trying to think for a while? As you decorate your lifestyle with cheap consumer bliss, forget about loving, it's you're going to kiss.
Right.
So
Okay.
that was a very nice, but that's clearly a reaction to ant wrap. So
Well, I think they're missing. I'm completely missing the point. I mean, cheap consumer bliss is in fact all that life is about, particularly in the 80s.
mm. Well, look, I thought it was an interesting thing that they sent me.
I've never heard that before. It's completely stupid. It's completely childish, as indeed is ant wrap. But I mean, that was a long time ago.
Yeah, ant wrap. It's kind of I'm a member of a few Facebook groups, and it's kind of like a running joke about ant wrap. This I saw a meme that someone posted, and it's a family sitting around a chair, and the kid's
Yeah, I
opened
saw
his
that.
present, and he's
Yeah,
crying.
yeah, yeah.
But I mean,
I didn't fucking like ant wrap. Actually, I don't know why. Well, I don't know. Adam just wanted to do it, and it was like kind of. It was like it was sort of. I mean, I remember flying back from New York and flying and going directly to Air Studios to put some guitar on it, and uh, I think on a single version or something. I don't know. Yeah, okay, ant wrap. All right. Yeah, it wasn't. It's not. It's not our finest album. It wasn't my finest achievement.
it got to number one, didn't it?
Did get to number one, yeah.
I think. I
But I
mean,
would prefer to have got to number one with something else. I'm
yeah.
glad I don't think we ever played it live,
Well, no, it'd be difficult
or
to do
maybe we
live, wouldn't
did.
it?
I don't. Yeah, I don't think we'd have played it live. If we did, I've obviously blanked it from my memory.
Yeah. Okay. Well, look, that's all the questions that I wanted to. I don't think anyone else, but I mean, I had a look at the stats of the video. It's
Yeah,
had. Oh goodness. Okay. Watch time is 1.8K hours.
right. Is that good?
Uh,
What does that mean? What does watch time mean?
okay. So it's 1800
Mm,
divided by 24. So people have watched it for
yeah.
75 days non-stop.
Have they?
If you add up all the views, it's
Right.
75 days.
Okay. What other stats did they give you?
Let me have a look. Let's have a look. Okay, so it's had 10.6K views, which is
Yeah.
8,000 more than my normal videos.
Okay. Good.
It's had 100. I had 106 new subscribers. There
Mm-hmm.
are currently 56 people watching it now.
Right.
Um, well, no, that's
And
that's
what are all their and what are all their names and who are they? What do they want?
yeah. What do they want? Why are you watching us? Yeah, I could see where they
Yeah.
found us. So when I say they're watching it now, in the last 60 minutes.
Right. Okay.
And then yeah, I mean it's a very successful video.
Okay.
And
Good.
it's a long form video. It's over an hour long. I mean, one of the comments I did see, someone said I actually watched the whole thing, and I thought, well, fantastic. That's the idea.
That's the point of droning on and on. I could be doing better things, you know. It's like Otherwise, I'm just really just talking to myself. Well, I'm just talking to you. I do want other people to listen to it.
Yeah, of course. Yeah. No, I was good. Actually, I was going to say to you, I picked up a CD.
Hmm.
I did an episode about a record fair in
Yeah,
Ashton, and I picked up a CD by a band called The Motors,
yeah,
who did the airport track.
yeah.
It's fantastic, and I didn't. They kind of passed me by. I only knew that airport track.
Um, the Motors. Yeah, there used to be a guy called Nick Garvey.
Hmm.
I don't know much about them. I never had any of their records, but I always know. I know that I saw it on Top of the Pops a couple of times, and I always thought they were good.
Yeah,
Did they have a track called "Dancing the Night Away" or something?
that's right. That's the other big hit.
Yeah,
Yeah,
I remember. I remember Airport. I never bought any of the records, but I always liked them.
yeah. And someone, I was looking at, I looked on their YouTube thing, and people saying what a fantastic track. And then people make the most weird comments on YouTube. Someone said, "How can an airport have a smiling face?" And I'm like, It's not about
It's
that.
not literal.
Yeah, but yeah, I've got it. Actually, I've got it here. I think. Hang on, here it is. Here's the CD. Hang on, see that?
Yeah.
The Motors.
Right. Okay.
And I think it's a Japanese. I think it's a Japanese import. But yeah, yeah, these I did these funny little videos going around record fairs, and they're just really popular. People really enjoy them.
There are some very welcoming airports in the world.
There are.
This was also very welcoming. Just also very welcoming airport.
Yeah,
Tokyo's a very welcoming airport.
yeah.
Um,
Chicago's quite nice.
Chicago's very big, isn't it? It's got lots of
Mm,
trains. And
mm,
Atlanta, I don't think is very welcoming airport. It's very easy to get lost.
yeah. How many times have you been to the States?
Oh God, I don't know. It's hundreds. Why?
I've been there. I think I went there. I made a documentary about Evil Knievel.
Right.
So I flew to. It's quite an interesting story actually. Basically, I lost my job. I was made redundant. Okay,
Mm,
a good way. Okay, and they gave me a bit of
right.
money.
Right.
And I basically made a bucket list, and my bucket list, one of them was to meet Evil Knievel.
Right.
Okay, so what I did is I found out that he was putting together this event in Montana, in Butte, called Evil Knievel Week. So what I
Right.
did is I wanted to meet him, and it was virtually
Right.
impossible. So what I did is I did a press release, an AP, and I sent it to all the news agencies. Jumped on a
Mm,
plane with my brother and
yeah.
flew to America, and then we drove from Vegas to Montana.
Right.
And when we landed, we had the TV crew waiting for us.
Really?
Yeah, there's a TV crew, and we were front page of the paper.
Where in Montana was it?
It was a place
Not
called
that I know Montana very
it's a
well,
place
but
called Butte, Montana.
Butte. Yeah, I've been
Yeah,
there.
it's called the richest hill on earth because obviously they
Right.
did copper mining. Um,
Yeah.
but the reason I went there is I was writing a story for a magazine called Motorcycle News. So I
Right.
wanted to interview Evil. So basically, I was in this museum with all his rocket and everything, and I did an interview for him, and then that turned up on the news that night.
Today we caught up with some admirers who made their trip from the UK, hoping to shake hands with their idol.
And now I'm grown up. I just want to come to where he was born and meet the guy.
Paul Squires is a die-hard Evel Knievel fan. He's traveled all the way from Britain for a chance to meet his legend.
When I was a kid, I never thought I'd meet Evel Knievel. He was just, I used to pretend to be a stuntman on my bike like all kids. I used to do little jumps in the garden, wheelies up the road. Everyone wanted to be Evel Knievel.
When a British motorcycle magazine found out that Squires was planning to be in Butte for Evel Knievel Week, they sent him with a memento to present to the Daredevil.
This is quite a compliment. I appreciate it.
Through the years, Evel's collected gifts from hundreds of fans, but he says this one has special meaning. That's because it comes from thousands of miles away.
I think it's wonderful. I think it's wonderful. I went over there and presented them with a good performance. My takeoff was beautiful. My landing, little trouble.
And it was just crazy. I came home and I turned it into a DVD. It's on YouTube. I'll send you a link. It's on YouTube.
Yeah, I don't know anything about him really. I mean, I remember I remember he did that thing. We jumped over the buses at Wembley. So I saw it on
He
telly.
did. Yeah, he jumped at Wembley.
Did he
No,
make it?
no, he missed. He
No,
missed, and then
that's
he
why he missed,
retired.
didn't he? Yeah. He nearly made it, though, didn't he?
He landed on the last bus.
Then there was another one. That was that mad rocket thing that he was going to
Yeah, that
jump
was
the Grand
before. He
Canyon or
jumped the
something.
Snake River Canyon. He jumped in
Right.
Idaho. So in the video, we go to Snake River, and nobody knows about it. It's on YouTube. It's had
Yeah.
about 5 views, you know. Anyway, we're not going to
Well,
talk about my stupid film.
Well,
Most of
send me
that
a
went
link.
well.
Send me a link. I'll go and watch it.
Yeah, I did. I did part 1, part 2, and then I did a catch up where I talked to my brother about the making of. Maybe
But
better to.
wasn't he an awful bloke? Wasn't he like a really right wing? I mean, obviously he's a sort of good old boy, isn't he? Like gun toting right wing, like some sort of weird Elvis.
But he was my childhood hero. Do you know what I mean? I'm lucky to say people that I really admire that I've met, I've really liked. There's only been about 2 or 3 that I thought, you know, that wasn't great. But yeah, I think it's dangerous meeting someone that you really admire and respect, and they turn out not to be as nice as you want.
I've never met anybody. I've met people who haven't been as friendly because they're just white. Should they be? I mean, it's like I remember back when we did Live Aid. I met Pete Townsend. I'd met him before, and when I said, "Well, Pete, it was amazing to see you," and he just went, "Oh, yes, so what?" But that's the way he is. I mean, I wasn't offended or anything like that because I do that as well.
Yeah, and also it depends on the time when you catch someone. You don't know what's going on in their life. They might have just had bad news. They might be feeling rough or rotten. You know, you don't know.
Exactly. I mean, if you just run up to a complete random stranger in the street and just want to engage them in conversation, they'll just go, "Yeah, who knows? Who knows where they're at?"
Yeah.
I haven't. People talk to me. I haven't wanted to talk to them. I didn't want to have my picture taken.
It's difficult to say no, though.
It's a big imposition. Oh, I do say no, and then it's if I really don't want to, I just say, "Look, it's not at the moment, mate." You know.
Yeah. Yeah.
Or I'm having my dinner, or you know.
Yeah. I'm trying to watch the film.
I'm trying to catch this plane, you know, and I'm really pissed off, and you know, and I've lost my luggage or something like that. You could, yeah.
Have you met Brian Ferry at all? Was the question I was asking.
I've never met Brian Ferry. I've never met him, but no. But I once wanted to stop smoking, and so I looked up. So I wanted to get an acupuncturist. So I put, and where do you find, you know, London's best acupuncturist? Obviously in the pages of Vogue or Harper's and Queen or something. And it said clients include Brian Ferry. It was this woman in Mayfair. So I went to see this woman in Mayfair. And I kept saying, I bet he's there, I bet he's there. Never for 1 second thinking that I would run into Brian Ferry. And he was there. He was in the waiting room wearing argyle socks. But I just couldn't speak to him. And he didn't look at me or anything like that. I mean, why should he?
Yeah. But that's like, you know, you don't know what to say, do you? So you don't say anything.
So you don't say anything. I'm sure. I mean, I don't know what to say. It's like, yeah, but it's like, I mean, I do have a bit of an ear. It's a little bit easier for me because I can say, "Hi, we've never met before. I'm Marco from Ade Pridham, and we do know, and he'll go, "Oh yeah, oh, hi," and it's like, I know who you are, and we do have friends in common. I have met other members of Roxy Music. Adam's met him. We have I know acquaintances who do know him, so it's not completely. I could have done it, but I just didn't.
Yeah, it's difficult when you see someone famous that you don't want to.
I mean, it is a little bit easier for me. I mean, I'm not, because I can just say hi, it's me, and they'll either go, oh, generally they'll go, oh yes, hello, yes, I recognise you, hi.
Yeah.
So I'm a stranger, but I'm a complete stranger, but they know who I am.
Yeah.
So it's a little bit easier.
At the end of the interview that we did, I touched briefly on, you asked a question about how difficult is it to get interviews that I do. And I didn't really touch on it a lot. I mentioned it a bit, but I thought it'd be quite interesting just to talk about. So on my channel, I've got some pretty big interviews with people like yourself, obviously, Vince Clarke, Melly Mel.
Yeah.
And the way I go around doing it is I've got no team behind me. Yeah. All the videos are edited by me, created by me. And all I do is I hustle. And the only thing you can do is hustle. And I email people and I send messages. And if they get back and it happens, and generally sometimes when you meet people in person and they realise that you're genuine and you're really excited and interested, that's what happened with Chumbawamba when I did the interview with Dustin. And Melly Mel, you know, he was on a bus, a tour bus. And I basically just popped my head in and said, I'm doing a show about you. I need an interview. And he said, well, jump in. You know, it's just... You've just got to try it.
People generally, unless they're in a bad mood or they're doing something else, or they're busy, or they've got problems at home, or they got cancer or something, you know, they'll generally try and put you in.
Yeah. I met a guy, I mentioned to you that I like Yellow. So I met Dieter and Boris from Yellow.
Right, yeah.
And I went up and I just said, hi, can I have a photo? And he's like, yeah. And I said, can I ask you a question? And he said, yeah. And I said, can you do a jingle for my radio show? And he's like, yeah, of course. And I got my phone out and he said, what do I do? And I said, just say Skyers. Oh, yeah. And he went,
This is Dieter Meyer, Skyers. Oh, yeah.
And he was so lovely about it. And he said, is that all right? And I said, yeah, it's brilliant. Thank you. And it's just really nice.
Yeah, I know Dieter and Boris. I haven't seen them for years, but we used to have mutual friends.
Yeah.
So I have met them.
Oh, they are probably one of my top 10 bands that I like. I really love them. I really love them.
I don't know much about them, actually.
Well, they're still going. They're still
Right.
still doing stuff. And Sparks as well. Sparks have got a new album coming out.
I met Sparks. Funny enough, I met them a couple of times. I was in an Indian restaurant in London, and I met them. I was introduced to them, and they said, "What are you doing next week?" And I said, "Well, I'm busy next week. I'm going to Europe." I said, "Oh, because you could have come to our boxing match. We're having a boxing match. We're doing a photo session of a boxing match, and we're inviting people to come and see us box." Which was a cover called, was it Womp You Sucker or something?
Womp Me Sucker, yeah.
Yeah, they invited me to that, but I couldn't go. And a couple of years ago, I actually went to see them at Nottingham City Hall.
Yeah.
Not Nottingham Rock City, I can't remember, Nottingham.
Yeah.
And I had my Sparks songbook, and I signed it for them. I went backstage. So, I mean, they're really great. And I bought a Sparks jigsaw puzzle, and I signed that for me.
They're really nice, and I mean, my favourite album. It's not, well, I like the Giorgio Moroder stuff, but I also love the Gratuitous Sax album, which is kind of like the mid-90s.
I like most of them. Obviously, Kimono My House and Propaganda are two of my favourite albums of all time. But I like Beat the Clock and Little Beethoven. I really like the last one, Hippopotamus.
Yeah, I did Drip Drip Drip, didn't they?
Yeah.
Drip.
No, they are absolutely in my top 5. I'm a complete Sparks fan.
Yeah,
I've got the signed songbook on display in my lounge.
I've got little. They were on Logic Records, and I've got the Logic Records promo magnets on my fridge. And Logic Records, you could sign up to a mailing list. They had a Ron Mail because he collects snow globes. And I had a Sparks snow globe.
Yeah, I know.
I think it was Now That I Own the BBC, and you shook it, and it all leaked everywhere and broke. But never mind.
No, that's brilliant. That's one of my favourite ones. When I owned the BBC, the video is just one of the greatest videos ever made. There's one where it's like Ron as a kid, but he's still got a moustache. He's about 10 years old, but he's got a moustache.
That's When Do I Get to Sing My Way?
Right.
It's kind of like film noir, black and white. It's really,
yeah.
Really good.
Yeah.
Okay. Well, look, this has been fun. It's kind of been like a
All right.
second interview, but it hasn't been, because the second interview is going to happen in April. So if you're watching this and you want some questions, put them in the chat, as I mentioned. And when we do the interview, and you're open to any questions, aren't you, Marco? Anything about...
Yeah. Anything.
Yeah.
Well, ask
Anything
me about things like you can ask me about things I don't know about. I'm not Brian Cox.
Yeah. Okay. All right. Well, brilliant. Okay. So that's what we'll do.
Don't ask me if there's life after death. I don't know.
No. Okay. All right. Well, this has been good. Thank you very much for clicking to watch the video, and we will catch you next time.
Doing stuff as as Adam has always tried to tell me, doing stuff is completely pointless without trying to sell it.
Yes.
He's doing it is easy. Selling it is the hard bit.
Yeah.
In the next few months, I hope to do something of some value.
And you'll be talking about it in our next chat.
Yeah.
And you see, I've got some more robots.
That's what I noticed.
And I got a shark as well. I got a shark. I'm basically, I'm going to be doing an episode about shark films, because there are so many. You know, Jaws, and then there's hundreds and hundreds. And
there's Sharknadoes. I can't stand those.
they're terrible.
They're really stupid.
They're absolutely terrible. But
I understand. I know they're supposed to be terrible, and I know that the idea is that they are shit.
Yeah.
But the joke just worn thin after a minute.
Yeah. Well, I think there's about 100. Okay. Well, it's been good as
All
usual. And I hope you feel better. Kind of after Christmas, everyone gets ill, and it's the longest. Well, fortunately, we're out of it now, but. Yeah, January just goes on and on.
On and on. It's so fucking cold since I went out shopping.
Yeah, you can't go out. There's nothing to do. It's bloody freezing. It gives me something to moan about, which is good.
Yeah,
I like a good one.
Yeah, me too. What would we do?
Okay,
right,
mate.
It's nice to see you again.
Yeah, nice one. You take care.